Hi guys, this is going to be my 5-week pregnancy update for baby number 2. It's a week tomorrow is when I found out that I was pregnant, and I haven't done an update yet, but I turned 5 weeks on Monday and today's Wednesday, so I'm 5 weeks and 2 days, and this pregnancy is already a lot different from my last one. For one, I already have a baby, Gabriel, and he takes up so much time, and I just love him to pieces. It's hard for me and Aaron to imagine another little person joining our family. I feel like I've got, once I found out I was pregnant, I started noticing a lot of symptoms here and there, but they're not heavy symptoms or extreme symptoms, but they're all present. So I wanted to kind of go over a few of my symptoms just to document. I've had fun watching a few of my old videos from my last pregnancy, and I decided I definitely want to record, at least for myself, how this pregnancy is going. So for one, we're not planning on telling anyone for quite some time. We were thinking probably 4 or 5 months. We live kind of away from family, and so it's not hard to contain, but I'm not really sure why I feel that. I've always kind of decided my second pregnancy I'd keep it secret a little bit longer, but I just don't really have a big urge to tell people right now, and part of that might be I'm having a hard time like feeling very pregnant, and maybe that's why. I'm not really sure, but we've decided that we want to wait a little while for this one before we announce it to everybody. So even Zachary, my brother who's living with us, has no idea, and I think I'll be able to contain it for quite a while if I don't show too soon. So the goal is to kind of keep it to ourselves at least till 16 weeks. We'll have family visiting when I'm 16 weeks. So depending on how much I'm showing, if they'll be able to tell at that point if I'm pregnant, then we might announce it. Otherwise, we might wait a little bit longer. So anyways, so my first symptom from this pregnancy was bloating, and I think I talked about that a little bit earlier in my other video, but that's not a huge telltale sign for me that I'm pregnant. I get bloated all the time anyways, and every period that I have, I'm super bloated. So I honestly had no idea that I was pregnant, and that sounds silly because we were trying, but because we had no idea when I ovulated last month, we weren't really like trying. It just kind of happened. So we're grateful for that. We have no idea when I ovulated, so we don't know the exact age of this baby, but right now we're saying I'm 5 weeks, but we'll see. So bloating was definitely the biggest sign. And then after finding out that I was pregnant, these are some of the signs that I've picked up on. Definitely I'm super thirsty. I feel like I'm drinking a lot, and that's all I really want to do, which is good. I need to get a lot of water in my system for my baby. And then I'm also urinating frequently, and that's probably a lot because of the water, but I also just seriously have to pee all the time. And I'm already having to pee at night, which is not a good sign, but yeah. I also am having some insomnia, and I'm having a hard time like getting to sleep at night, or sleeping very soundly. I feel like I'm up a lot, and I'm also really tired. So I'm really tired, and then I lay down, and then I can't sleep, which insomnia was I had that a little bit at the end of my last pregnancy, but definitely not this early. But I'm good with that. That's fine. I have been really hungry all the time, and I just feel like I just want to eat all the time, but then I'm trying to eat healthy, and I'm kind of, I don't know. I've been making sure that I'm not eating all the time. I don't want to put on excess weight that I don't need to, nor do I want to eat more than I should. But I'm wondering if partly it's because I'm trying to eat so healthily that maybe I'm not getting as many calories as I should. So I'm trying to make sure I include a little bit more carbs into my diet rather than just fruits and vegetables, and protein. So I've been feeling dizzy a lot when I stand up. I just have to wait a second because I just kind of get really dizzy. And one of the weirdest symptoms I have is that Gabriel is really clingy, like almost to a T. The day that I found out, he has been super clingy ever since. Maybe even just from around that time. Like, he just wants me all the time. He wants me to hold him. He wants me to everything with him. Like, he's like a leech. And I wonder if he can sense something. I'm not really sure because he wasn't like this before, but he wants mama right now. And usually he'll sit in the cart at the store. He didn't used to, but he will now. And I went shopping the other day and he would not let me put him down for anything. So I am getting really tired of holding him just when we're out and about because he doesn't want me to put him down. And he's like 20 pounds, which isn't too much, but it wears on you after a while. So he's super clingy and we just love him to pieces, and trying to make sure that he's still getting a lot of one-on-one from both of us and make sure he's feeling loved, because whatever he's sensing is making him uneasy. So and then my last two signs, just I've been gassy and have slight breast enlargement, but not too much, just a little bit. So those are my last signs. Oh, and heartburn, but not as much as last time. I feel like last time I had really bad heartburn and I was craving salty foods, and this time I'm definitely more on the sweet side. I definitely want more sweets. Salt isn't super appealing to me. Like, the smell of chips makes me want to gag. Or anything like that, and sweet stuff is definitely more appealing. I remember with my last pregnancy, those little cutie oranges would make me sick to my stomach because they were so sweet, and now I've been eating them like all the time because I just want sweets and cookies, and I've been eating lots of fruits and stuff, so that kind of sounds really good to me. So that is a little bit different. I do feel different this time. I'm not really sure why. I don't know if it's older or if I'm gonna have a girl instead of a boy or what, but something feels different. My first appointment is 2 weeks from today, so I'll be 7 weeks, and here in Utah they do things kind of weird, and you don't see the doctor your first time. You just see a nurse and they draw your blood and like go over some stuff with you, and that's it. And then when you're closer to like 12 weeks, you'll meet with a doctor, and apparently here they only do an ultrasound if they're worried about something. Otherwise you only get one at 20 weeks for the anatomy scan, and that kind of makes me sad because I feel like I would feel better if I was able to see the baby and just know that it was there and see its heart beating and everything. And I should be able to hear the heartbeat around 12 weeks, but part of me, I guess because I was spoiled with Gabriel, I had an ultrasound so many times throughout his pregnancy. I think I had one at like 5 or 6 weeks. I had one, then I had one at 7 weeks, 9 weeks, 12 weeks, 14 weeks, 18 weeks, and 20 weeks. So I had them all the time, and it was so reassuring to be able to see the ultrasound and see him moving and see that he was doing okay. And so it makes me sad and nervous to think like, okay, I'm not gonna get to see my baby until 20 weeks. Like, that's not till May, and this is January. Like, that is so far away to not be able to see my baby. But that's just, I guess that's just the way they do things around here, and I definitely would rather have a healthy pregnancy than have something wrong and have them need to do an ultrasound for that. But good thing is I've had no spotting or anything, and I kind of don't feel like I'll have any, but maybe I will. I don't know. Like I said, I'm having a hard time feeling like I'm pregnant, and so it's been hard for me to like get in that mindset that we're gonna be having a baby in September. Due date is right now is September 18th, which is one day after Aaron's birthday. We have a lot of September birthdays in my family. So Aaron says he's hoping it'll be born in August because there's no August birthdays. But we'll see. If it was born 3 weeks early, then it would be born August 28th. So if it was just born like around when Gabe was born, it'll be born at the end of August. Otherwise, it'll be a September baby. But I think I don't really care when it's born. I think whenever is fine, but I hope, part of me hopes that our baby just has its own day, just so it can, so it's not tied to anyone, and just so it, I think it's special to have your own birthday for you, just your day. So I do hope that it gets its own birthday. I'm really excited. I love September. I think it's the best month, one of the best months of the year. May and June are my first favorites, and then August and September are my second. So it's funny that my second baby will be born in September or August, and my first was born in June. But yeah, those are kind of my pregnancy symptoms. That's kind of where we're at. Last pregnancy, I was very excited the whole time, I think, very upbeat and everything, and this time I'm feeling a lot more anxiety and stress. And I think partly just because of where we're at in our lives right now. I don't know how new baby will fit into it. I mean, it's going to be just fine, and I'm so excited, but I am a little bit nervous and anxious. And part of that could be my hormones too. I don't know, but we're very excited. We call our little baby Bumpkins, and I have no intuition about whether it's a boy or girl. My only thought is that right now my pregnancy feels different from last time, so I wonder if it's maybe a different gender, but it could just also be because it's a different pregnancy. So who knows? We'll see. We're excited to announce it to our family, but just not right now. I think part of it is that, like, when I announce this early, then you have such a long time before you actually have the baby, and you just have a lot of people asking you questions all the time, which isn't bad or anything, but I just like the idea of not having to constantly answer questions when I'm so close to the beginning, when there's not a lot happening. So no morning sickness or anything. I've had some slight nausea here and there, just with a couple food items or if I take too long to eat, then I get nauseous. Or I smelt spaghetti the other day and it made me nauseous, and I never ever want to eat spaghetti again, but I'm sure that will pass. And there's been a couple things, so part of me wonders if I'll have a little bit of morning sickness with this pregnancy, but right now I'm feeling pretty good, so I'm not too worried about it. And yeah, 5 weeks feels like nothing. My baby is the side of about 3 different websites said 3 different things. Well, 4. So I've heard it's the size of a peppercorn seed. I've heard it's the size of an orange seed, an apple seed, and a poppy seed. So basically it's teeny tiny, tiny little thing right now. And this week it's forming its heart, and it should start beating this week, its heart. And then it's separating into where it's going to have the brain and everything. And so, like, before it was kind of like a ball of cells, and now it is forming into like a little body mass thing. Doesn't have arms and legs yet or anything, but it's going to have a heartbeat. And it's so crazy to me that we have another person joining our family. So that's going to be my 5-week update. I'll go ahead and do a belly shot. I weigh 122 pounds right now, and that's what I started at. So that my starting weight for this pregnancy is 122, which is lower than I've ever been in my entire life. And so it's lower than last time, but because of bloating, I feel like I don't really look much smaller than last time. But regardless, I'm not too worried about weight gain, because since I'm smaller now, even if I gain more than I did with my last pregnancy, it still shouldn't push me too far. And yeah, so I'll get the measuring tape and then we can do a belly shot.